Your pre-warning for this case is now. Axel Rudakubana has just been handed one of the largest jail terms in UK history. This being for the sadistic and meticulously planned murder of 3 small children in Southport last year. He also pleaded guilty to 10 attempted murders, as well as having a specific training manual and having the toxic substance ricin. Now, after time already served, the minimum sentence handed to him was 51 years and 190 days. And at sentencing, Mr. Justice Goose said that it's highly likely he will never be released. Now, Rudakubana is meant to have shown no remorse since the attacks took place 6 months ago, which prompted riots across the country and questions about how authorities failed to spot multiple warning signs about his behaviour. Liverpool Crown Court heard that he had gloated about the killings at a police station after his arrest, saying that it's a good thing those children are dead, so glad, so happy. The court heard harrowing details about the attack itself, as well as CCTV footage that showed Axel Rudakubana dragging one of the children back inside that led to several members inside the courtroom running out. As well as the fact that Rudakubana, who was just 17 at the time, had actually planned his rampage several weeks beforehand. In fact, a few weeks before this attack, his father had actually stopped him from going to his high school in a taxi by pretty much telling the taxi driver, do not take him to his destination. Now, 6 minutes before leaving his house at 11:10 a.m. on Monday, July 29th, he searched the social media platform X for a certain attack that took place in Australia a few months prior, in which Bishop Emanuel was stabbed at a church in Sydney. Doorbell footage then showed him pacing up and down outside of his home with his hood up. Then, armed with a 20cm kitchen knife, he took a taxi to the workshop in Heartspace Centre, Southport, where 26 children had gathered to dance, sing and make friendship bracelets at a Taylor Swift themed event. The court heard that Rudakubana went upstairs to the class and 30 seconds later began stabbing children. Now, alongside the 3 children murdered, 8 other children were also injured, as well as 2 adults. And when police arrived, they found Rudakubana standing silently over a child's body in the landing, still holding the kitchen knife that he'd used to carry out the attack. Police would then search the home that he shared with his parents in Bank, Lincolnshire. They would find a machete, a set of arrows, bottles with matches attached, as well as an Apollo knife identical to the one used in the attack. Both of these knives were bought on July the 13th from Amazon, and he'd used the VPN in order to encrypt his internet address. Police also found a Tupperware box containing a pulp-like substance underneath his bed. Tests by the UK government confirmed it to be the deadly substance ricin, which the 17-year-old had made in his bedroom. Police also seized 43 electronic devices from his home, 32 of which they were actually able to access. And while his internet search history had actually been deleted, they uncovered more than 164,000 downloaded documents, which spanned a vast range of things that I cannot mention, like very, very grotesque subject matters. He had also downloaded an academic paper which contained an excerpt from a certain training manual. Mr. Justice Goose concluded that Rudakubana had actually followed the instructions it contained in order to carry out the killings. Rudakubana's purpose in this was basically to target the youngest and most vulnerable in order to spread the greatest level of fear and outrage, in which he kind of succeeded in doing. The attack last July helped spark a wave of riots across the UK, including the Merseyside town of Southport itself. This was after misinformation had spread online that the attacker was an illegal immigrant. Rudakubana was not charged with an act of terror, although he was convicted of possessing terror-related material. Police and prosecutors said that current legislation did not allow for a terror charge. This is due to Rudakubana's apparent lack of ideology. However, he was diagnosed with ASD and was known to children and mental health services, as well as the anti-extremism program PREVENT, to which he was referred to 3 times from 2019 to 2021. The first occasion was in November of 2019, after he was referred by his school after searching for information on school shootings during an information technology class, and again in February of 2021. This was after pupils raised concerns regarding his Instagram posts, which were all about the leader Colonel Gaddafi. Then was referred again 2 months later in April of 2021 by a teacher who noted that he had 2 tabs open on his computer regarding the London Bridge terror attacks in 2017. And in each case, the program took no further action, noting a lack of overriding ideology. The senior national coordinator for counter-terrorism policing said that the Prevent's program's understanding of extremism was still evolving at the time. Earlier this week, the Prime Minister announced a public inquiry into the killings, as well as a review of the Prevent programme. Lancashire Police were also contacted 5 times regarding Rudakubana from 2019 to 2022. In March of 2022, Rudakubana actually went missing and was found by police in possession of a knife. He told officers that he wanted to stab someone and that he'd thought about poisoning people. He'd also been convicted under the youth justice system for attacking a fellow pupil with a hockey stick in 2019, and had also taken a knife into school 10 times previously. Lancashire Police, prior to sentencing, have said that they've reviewed each of its call-outs to Rudakubana, but could not discuss the details further due to the forthcoming public inquiry. As for Axel Rudakubana, it's highly unlikely that he'll ever be released. Rest in peace to BB King, who was just 6 years old, Elsie Stancombe, who was just 7, and Alice De Silva Aguiar, who was just 9.